Today I'm going to go over how to import a synced transcript video deposition into Trial Director. Now this is one of the more difficult things that we can do in Trial Director. Number one, doing this so you can video impeach, that's one of the more difficult things one can do in a courtroom, and even getting the video files into Trial Director is one of the more cumbersome things that I do as a trial consultant or as a hot seat or someone that runs Trial Director for a living. And so there's a couple of steps that you have to go through, a couple of tricky things, and the steps aren't always that intuitive, and there's a little bit of just kind of remember the order of the buttons you have to push that goes along with it. I'm going to go through it right now. So I'm going to open up Trial Director, and once I have that open, I'll just go ahead and create a new case, and I'll just put it on my desktop for now, and we'll call it import deposition video. It doesn't matter what you call it for now. Put it in there and hit create, and I've just got the blank template of a case going. In order to import a transcript, you can't just drag and drop stuff like you would normally, like any of your PDFs or JPEGs. You would normally just drag and drop those right into Trial Director. You can't do that with deposition transcripts, whether they're synced with a video or just text. You have to do a different thing, and that's go to the Transcript Manager. There's a different tab along the bottom of Trial Director that you want to go to. Once you can do that, then you'll see the transcripts menu at the top of the screen is now available. So if I go back to the case library where we do most of our work, that transcript section is grayed out. If I go to Transcript Manager, that transcript section is now available. And what I want to do is import a transcript from a synchronized transcript. Once I click that, a wizard will appear that will ask me a couple of questions. I'm going to import a specific compound media storage file. .cms is the file type that has the sync information. And what the sync information is, it takes the pages and lines and the words of the transcript and equates that with the minutes, seconds, and hours of the video. And it just has those two pieces of information put together. I'll hit next. And then it's going to ask me, where is that sync file that I'm looking for? I'll hit browse, and I'll go to my desktop, which is where I saved a folder that I got from my videographer, and I've called it DVD Appel as the last name of the witness. And if I look inside this folder, like at a regular browser, I'll see a whole bunch of files, but right now I'm looking for the .cms file. And so Trial Director knows that's what I'm looking for, so it limits what I can see to just that to make it easier for me to find, and I'll hit open. And then it asks me a question, copy all multimedia files or do not copy. I usually hit do not copy, and I'll explain more to that later, but let's get through the process for the first part first. So do not copy files, and then hit import, okay, and then it'll actually start importing. It tells you it's okay once it's done. And now if I look on the left-hand side, there's now a folder for that witness. And if I twirl that open, then I could see there's the ASCII transcript, that's just the text. A virtual clip, which is the marriage of the text to the actual video. Now if I double click on the transcript, it'll load the transcript in this main window area here so I can look at it, but it's going to give me an error because it doesn't know yet where the videos are that go with this specific deposition transcript. So I'll double click it and I'll get an error message. And the error message is just telling me I don't know where this video is. Here's the name of the video that I'm looking for, LA111217_1.mpg. I'll tell it okay, and now it's going to open up a browser window for me to go look for where that video file is. And I'm still in that same DVD that I got from my videographer. Sometimes you might have to go into like a media folder or an import folder to find it, but it should be all within that same DVD that you got from your videographer, or hopefully you didn't get it on an actual disk. You got it through a download link, and there was a whole bunch of folders and files in there. Just download that whole thing, and that's where you're going to find all these other files that are in there. Here's the number 1.mpg, and if you look in the upper right hand corner, it changed from like a gray box to a black box. That means that it was able to find the video it was looking for. And unfortunately, you have to go and do the same thing for the rest of the videos for this deposition. If there were more than 4, if there were 6 video files, then you have to do it 6 times. If there's only 1, then you only have to do it the 1 time. I'll go through and do it again just so we can get a view of what that looks like. I'll double click on video number 2, and you see it's gray. It doesn't see any multimedia. It's looking for it. It gives me that error message. I'll hit OK, and then tell it where it is. So then it's I double clicked on video 2, and then now this is black, letting me know that it has found a video. It used to be years ago when videos would start out blue when they were being recorded from an actual physical tape. So you would see a blue screen here, but now we see black screens. I'll do it for number 3, same thing again. It doesn't know where video 3 is. I'll tell it, here's where it is. I go find it, double click, it's in there. Double click again, doesn't know where it is, and get the error message. And I'll tell it where video 4 is. All right, so now they're all in there, and what I can do at this point is I can go throughout the transcript, and what I normally do is I check somewhere in like the beginning, middle, and end just to make sure all the syncing worked out well, and that way the sync file that I receive from my videographer or my lit support person actually works out well. Because what they do is they run it through a kind of a robot that kind of listens to the video and guesses where all the lines are. Sometimes it doesn't work out all that great if there's a lot of talking over each other, or if there's a lot of colloquy that's on the videotape that's not listed in the transcript, then there might be some issues too, so you always want to double check it. So I'll just double click it somewhere in the beginning, double click, we'll look at that first sentence and then we'll listen to it. I'll hit play.
How many immediate release formulations?
All right, and so now I can hear it, I could see the deponent, I can hear the attorney questioning her, and it sounds right. I'll usually also listen for the answer just to make sure that the video and audio sync is correct as well. I won't do that here just because I'll just have to blur it out anyway. And then I'll go to the middle of the deposition and do the same thing. And I'll hit play.
And the fourth one says acceptance criteria and a match. Yes.
All right, and that all looked good. The video looked good. So when the deponent was talking, that's when words came out. So that's always something you want to check too. And I'll do it one more time towards the end.
So lots of different mechanisms, right?
All right, it sounds good. So I think now at that point, we're ready to work with it. But there's one other thing that I want to do before I start making any clips or getting any designations ready, and that's I close Trial Director, and then I'll open it back up. And it's kind of like a weird voodoo step thing that I do. It's something that I found just works. It's a little bit, I don't know if it's necessarily a bug or a limitation or however you want to describe it. But what generally happens to me is once I import a transcript into Trial Director, a video transcript that is, I can't really start working with it. I can maybe start making clips, but I can't present them correctly until I've shut down Trial Director and reopened it. Normally, it's not an issue because you make the clips on one day and then you close it and then you go to trial. You open your computer and Trial Director at the next place, so you never even notice. And I'll reopen that file now. But if you're going to start using it right away and practicing or making deposition impeachment clips that you're going to present, in order to present them properly, you have to close Trial Director completely. It's just a thing. Just remember it. So now I'm in here and I am ready to work and start making some of those deposition impeachment clips. I won't go into that today because I want to keep this one a little bit tighter, but the next video that I make will be about how to make deposition impeachment clips, how to edit them and get them ready, and other tips and tricks. So hit the subscribe button if that's something that you're interested in. That video will be coming out hopefully tomorrow, or by the time you watch this, hopefully it'll be available and there'll be something in the screen right here for you to look at, or right here. One of the two. I never remember which side it is. So hopefully that's something that you can look at. But one thing I do want to talk about before I go is in the beginning, we had a chance to import the video. And remember, I'll go through it again. And I'll just bring in the same .cms file. Do it again. And I had this option. Copy all multimedia files or do not copy all multimedia files. And I said do not copy. And the reason for that is this wizard and this script that Trial Director has was written at a time where everyone got all their stuff on actual physical discs from a videographer. And so that's what it assumed as part of like the wizard and helping you through it. And so it assumed that you had all your files on a disk and you needed to get them onto your actual laptop in order to run it better in court, which is something that you all should do. Now no one even has DVD drives on their laptops anymore, or some people still do, but most people don't. And so it's not an issue, but this script still kind of assumes that. And so if you hit copy all multimedia files and you were importing it from an actual physical disk, that would be exactly what you would want. You would want the files on the disk to get copied to your laptop. Perfect. But now I already have the files on my laptop because I've received them by a download link from my videographer. And so I don't need to make another copy of it. Then I'll just have two copies of the same video files. And the video files are usually the most voluminous part of your Trial Director case file. And so I don't need to do it twice. And ultimately, because I'm not actually bringing this off of a DVD disc, if I hit copy all multimedia files and try to do this, I still have to run into the same issue where Trial Director doesn't know where the videos are. So all that thing before, when I was like, click on each of the discs and tell Trial Director where all the videos are, I would still have to do the same process, just a different sequence of when I have to do that. And so just to avoid having two sets of every video on your computer, I always click do not copy those multimedia files. So that's just that little caveat there. It's confusing, so I always save that to the end to explain why, but that's why I don't do that. And those are my general steps for importing a synced deposition video file into Trial Director. If you have any questions on that, and you probably do, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'd love to talk to you guys down there. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one.